Hello friends, today this video is about how to make sales. Sales is the most rewarding field in any organization and the most vital part of an organization. That is what I feel, because sales bring in customers, sales bring in revenues, and that is why it is the most important part of an organization. So sales is an important part of an organization, but it has been done, is it been done with a proper person and with a proper approach? Is it so? Because in today's date, when we think about a salesperson, it is never about the ideas or an offering. It is about the clothing they wear, the type of dressing they wear, and that language they have. Nothing is more relevant about the selling, about the things. Whenever I see a person from a bank or insurance company approaching me, I really don't find them any more interesting, and we reject all the calls and we reject everything they are trying to sell us. We try to avoid them. So the problem is that how the sales will be made in such scenarios where we have been rejected as a salesperson. So we are going to discuss few of the important factors about how to make sales. And the first and the most important part about how to make sales is try to create an empathy with the customer. Today we have been rejected, we have been avoided as a salesperson by the customer is because they don't find interest in us. The best important thing and the most important thing you need to do is that to create the interest level among the among the client and us. So how to create an interest level with the customer? Whenever you try to create an empathy or an emotional attachment with some person, it is the way, because we create an attachment, we try to find similarities between us, and those similarities create a binding between that person. But in today's date, we are trying to push sales may bring you revenues in shorter terms, but will not bring you revenues in the longer terms, surely not, because you are trying to choke what you have, not what they want. And if you choke what you have, not what they want, they will be fed up of you, and that is what is happening in these days. So they are not really interested into buying what we are offering, because that is not the thing they are willing to find. So while creating empathy, try to ask questions, what they exactly want, what they exactly need, and then try to offer them accordingly. It is not about what you want to sell them, it is about what they want to buy. Most of the products are designed concerning the customer behavior, and that may be applicable to most of the customer but not all the customers. Here is where the people go wrong. We try to sell all the product to all the customers, and that is not how it is done. Every person is different, every person's demand is different, every person wants something different, and that way we have to know what they want exactly. And the first principle of selling is create an emotional attachment with the customer. Try to understand his problem, try to understand why he is wanting, and try to offer him accordingly. Ask him questions so that we get to learn about it. And once you try to make this conversations with the customer, you get to know about him, he tries to create interest in us, and how the communication goes on. Now you get to know how the customer is wanting and what are his needs. So once you create an emotional attachment with the customer, the next step and the next principle about making a sale, that know your product, KYP policy. What is KYP policy? It is firstly, now you have known the customer, his demand, his needs. Now you have to offer him the best thing you could. While giving him the best thing you could, you need to know what your product is first. Mostly I have seen many ground level salesperson are not aware about their product. They don't even know where the company stands, what are their offerings, whatever it is. That is not the way the sales are made. You need to know your product first, what you can offer. If the person going to sell is not knowing what he is selling, he is just updated with some theoretical knowledge which is given to him by a senior, and he is trying to make a sale, that is not going to work, seriously not going to work. Because the customer who is willing to buy will be having many questions in his mind, and will be having other researches as well parallelly. So you need to be above him, and that will create a sense of trust with him, so that he is convinced that you are knowledgeable about the product. And once you are knowledgeable about the product, you can offer him the best one you could. Push sales may bring you customer, and pull sale may not bring you customer in shorter term. I have agreed to it, but the customer which has been informed about each and everything will come up without any doubt, without any single doubt. And in the longer run, don't you think that customer will be delighted? He will be delighted. And remember, every customer of yours is not just a customer, he is the chain of customer which he is going to offer you. वो सोने का अंडा देने वाली मुर्गी है, and that customer must be treated accordingly. You may lose a customer on your ethical grounds, on your principles of sales, that I won't sell the product to him because it doesn't suit his requirement. Just leave that customer, telling him that it doesn't suit your requirement. That will gain a trust for you. He may go now for sure, but as I have stated earlier, your product is not meant for a particular customer, it is meant for a group of customers. He will bring you those customers because you have gained the trust with him. So have a courage to give up on a customer on the ethical grounds. If you are not able to deliver what he wants, just let him go, because you cannot choke him with the sales, because अंडे के देने वाले मुर्गे को नहीं काटा करते. So know your product properly and offer him accordingly. If you can't offer him properly, leave it to the time. He will be coming afterwards, but he will come later on. Your gone customer on ethical grounds is an investment. I surely believe into it, and he will come back as a return. And the third important thing, which will be the last aspect of our sales, is that gaining trust. As I said, a gone customer is gone, but he has gone with a trust upon you that you give him the proper product and you deny when it is not suitable for him. So he will come back, not for him, for somebody else. He will surely come back, and that is why the gaining trust is important. You may reject a client on some basis, but he will come on later on by gaining the trust. Once he is aware that you are knowledgeable, once he is aware that you are emotionally attached, once he is aware that you know his problems properly, he will come back for some or the other reason, and this is how the sales will be created. Now, putting on a legendary example of the Apple company. Apple company is most versatile and the biggest company in the world. How it became the biggest company of the world? It understood what the customer wants, or many times customer doesn't know what he wants. You have to offer him what is best for him. Many products, revolutionary products, come into the market. Not exactly the demand is there, but demand is created. How is it created? By knowing the customer, by understanding the problem. Apple came up with the same model, and that is how it is the best company of the world. Briefly stating, what Apple provides, it provides the curtain technology for which customer needs. Customer wanted high-tech securities. It provided with the thumb lock system. Customer was fed up of the stylus using for a phone. It had to carry an external accessories. It came up with the finger touch technology, which was launched in 2004, and many other revolutionary products. They tried to understand the customer. They didn't try to choke the sales into them. They tried to understand them and offer them the best way, and that is how it became the world's best company. And all success stories in the world are the examples of knowing your customer properly. The legendary example of Indian company Jio. Simple example, they know what the customer wanted and they know who are their customer, and that's why they offered them accordingly. Now highest market share of the telecommunication industry is Jio right now, and that is because they understood the customer. They didn't create a push sale. उन्होंने किसी को नहीं बोला आके मेरा खरीदो या मेरा लो. They provided a perfect product to the customer, and that was advertising in itself.